Hello and welcome back. So in this point, I would actually want us to check on a scenario where we will be having the VLOOKUP plus the drop downs. So before we actually check on this, before we actually check on this, I would actually want you to follow my YouTube channel. Then we will be able to build a very big and vast we'll be able to build a very big Excel community. Then you can also consider following my X account. Follow this X account for the daily tips and hacks, which will actually help you in your work. So now, in this point here, I would actually want us to have all these products. I would actually want us to have a drop down for all these products first, so that in this point here, I will be selecting if I want a laptop, if I want a phone, headphone, watch, lamp, ring light, desk, chair. So I should be having a drop down here so that I can also use the VLOOKUP function here to return the respective cells for the respective product. So let's actually go. So to introduce a drop-down in Excel, we always go into the Data tab. Inside the Data tab, we have what you call the Data Tools. So inside these Data Tools, we have this drop-down arrow here. Click on it for data validation. So click on data validation. Then you have something called data validation box there. So in the dialog box, I would actually want you to select a list. So after selecting a list, then you have to select the source. The source are actually the items which you would actually want to have inside the drop-down. So in this case, I'll select all of them like that. So this is basically my list, and that's okay. And now you can actually check that I have the drop-down here. So that's it, and now you can actually check. So remember first, before going into adding the drop down, you must select the cells. Before going into adding the drop down, you must select the cell where you would actually want the drop down to be. So this was the cell. That's where you are actually checking the drop down here. So you select the cell like that, get yourself to the Data tab, then Data Tools, click on Data Validation, then you select List. After selecting the list, click on the source, then you select the items which you would actually want to appear on the drop-down list. So clicking on this drop-down here, now you can actually check that I have the different items. So I have the laptop, I have the phone, I have the headphone, I have watch, many items. But in this point here, I would actually want to use a VLOOKUP function so that I can return for the product which will be selected on the drop-down. Yeah, so I want us to use the VLOOKUP function in all these months here so that I will be obtaining the monthly sales for the product which will be selected on the drop-down list. So let's go. It's equivalent to VLOOKUP like that. Then you actually open it. Then the lookup value, it will actually be on this point here because that's where we'll be having our drop down. It will actually be on this point here because that's where we'll be having our item changing. For example, you can select the laptop, you can also select a phone, you can select headphone, watch, lamp, ring light, desk, chair, something like that. Comma, the table array. For the table array, I will actually select from this part here, just like that. Why am I not actually selecting the serial number? Remember what I actually told you before, that inside the table array, yes, the lookup value must actually be the first column in that table array. So this is the table array which has been selected. So this one selected here is the table array, and the first column in the table array is actually for the product, and that's it. So the first column inside the table array should actually be having the lookup value. Yes, so that's all. Comma again, the column index number. So in this point here, because I'm actually dealing with January, I will actually say that this is my table array. Product is actually column number 1, January is actually column number 2. So 2 for January, then comma, then I'm actually returning the exact for January. Just like that, you close it, enter on the keyboard. I have 60. That's it. Now, in this point here for February, we'll also do the same thing. So V lookup like that, then you actually open. The lookup value is actually on this point here. Yes, then comma, the table array. Remember, it actually starts from the product because it has to be on column number 1 of the table array. Yes, the lookup value, which is actually this one here, the headphone, has to be on column number 1 of the table array. So you just have to select starting from the product itself all the way to May. Then we are actually returning for February. So February is actually this one here. So product is actually column number 1 of my table array. January is actually column number 2. And February is actually my column number 3. So 3 for February like that, comma. Then I'm actually returning the exact match. Double click on this point like that. You close. Then you enter on the keyboard. I have 90. For March, let's actually hurry. So we look up like that. Then you actually open. We look up like that, then you just have to open. It will ask you for the lookup value, which is actually on H23, comma. It will ask you for the table array, so you select the all of that to be your table array, comma. It will also ask you for the column index number. So this one is actually for March. So product is column number 1, column number 2 is actually January, column number 3 is actually February, column number 4 is actually March. So 4 like that. Then I'm actually returning exact match. Exact match is actually false or a 0. So we can have a 0 there. You close it, enter on the keyboard. Second last one, we look up like that. Then like that. Then you actually open. This is my lookup value, comma. The table array you select from the product all the way to May as the table array, comma. It will ask you for the column index number. So product is 1, January is 2, February is 3. 4 is March, 5 is actually April. So 5 for April, comma. It will also ask you if it's approximate match or exact match. It's actually exact match. Just like that, you close it, enter on the keyboard. It's 150. For the last one, we look up like that. Then you actually open it again. The lookup value is actually on H23, comma. The table array all the way from the product to May, then comma again. It will ask you for the column index number. So this is table 1 of my table. So this is column 1 of my table array, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column number 6. So column number 6, then it's actually exact match, false. So exact match because I'm actually returning exactly for the product listed, exactly for the product on H23. So you close like that, hit enter on the keyboard. In this point here, we can actually check for the headphone. So for the headphone, allow me to actually give it color there. So for the headphone, you can actually check that for January, we have 60. For February, we have 90. For March, we have 120. For April, we have 150. For May, we have 180. So before we actually continue, allow me to actually take you to this point here. So in this case here, I will be accepting all your projects. So in this point here, I will be accepting all your projects. So for the monthly subscription, yes. So you will be paying monthly for this. That is cloud in Excel prompting. We have the dashboards and charts, automation, pivot tables and models, Power BI, financial forecast, templates management, all this work for just $550 per month. Just imagine that. So you can also get me the one-time task, for example, the AI powered dashboard designs at $150, AI data analysis and insights $200, AI automation and smart macros $250, AI enhanced Power BI reports at $300. So these are just one-time tasks. You can actually get me all this, or you can just subscribe to getting me the task monthly. Yes. So apart from that, remember we also have the courses on this point here. I'll actually get you access for all these courses on Excel. I'll get you access on my Google Drive lifetime. That is, when the website is actually done, you will also continue getting the access for all these courses. And this is just limited to my 25 clients. So the first 25 will actually be getting that access. So for just $100, that's the biggest bargain you will actually get when it comes to purchasing the online courses, because the whole bundle actually goes at $1,890, which has been discounted to $945. So from $1,890, after a 50% discount, it's actually $945 dollars. So getting you this at $100 is just like giving you for free. So kindly purchase that course. So kindly reach me out so that I can get you the access for the first 25 interested persons only. So on this point too, you can actually let me design the templates for you and manage them per month. So I can design and manage every month. It will just be equivalent to $50 per month. So $50 per month, I design the template and manage for you. So everything will be done for you. Don't worry. So for the basic templates too, you can have the ultimate business dashboard, budget trackers, inventory management systems, AI-powered report templates, HR and payroll trackers, sales performance trackers, all those templates. Very good templates, by the way. Very good, in fact, excellent templates. So you can actually get me the task and I'll actually do that for you. So remember that for the monthly retainer or monthly subscription, templates design and management just goes at $50 per month. That's all. So now let's get back to this point here. So what if we actually change the product to be equivalent to laptop? So click on laptop. Now you can actually check that it has changed to 600, 900, 1200, 1500, 1800. Change the product again to something like a watch. Now you can actually check that it has shifted to 60, 90, 120, 150, and 180. Change the product again to something like desk. So for the desk, January is actually $300, February is $450, March is $600, April is $750, and May is actually equivalent to $900. So basically, that's how you can actually use the VLOOKUP function plus the drop downs in Excel. So remember to actually subscribe to this YouTube channel and also get me the projects and purchase all the courses and get me the task, all that by just sending me a message or communicating to me via this email here. So this is the email. Reach me out so that we can talk business. Thanks for watching.